see.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it gave a little countdown.
I know he does a little countdown. Hey, everybody. Hello. So this is our first time using Riverside FM for recording because we've been using Ecamm, but it can get a little fidgety and complicated, and we have to do everything through Skype, and Skype hasn't always been like the funnest. So,
Right. I mean,
hmm
I like Skype okay. I like all of these things okay, but I would just like you said before, like I wish there was one that would just combine all of my needs and
hmm
be perfect.
yes, and I was looking forever for this one because I was like this, and like there were other options, but they didn't all need the video feed. Like we need the video for our own, projects. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm like, I need the video. hmm
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who's listening, the questions for listeners. Okay. Yeah. So questions for listeners. If you are listening to us, you can actually request to be a guest on, and I will bring anyone on who has a really good question. You can type in your question by going to the link that we offered below.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also going to include a link in the chat as well. I believe where is it at? Incoming calls. There it goes. Okay, there it goes.
Hey
Chat.
Marie. Marie says she's on the road, but she's here. Hey Marie, yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Where are you seeing her stuff at?
Oh, on the YouTube.
Oh, so you're okay. Got it. So you're on the YouTube. So here, so you're on the YouTube there. So where
Yes.
is
Oh.
it? Well, you can keep your eyes on this shit. My brain's gonna be all. My brain's like, my brain's doing all this crazy shit. So.
Yeah, I got it. I got your back. Don't
Oh,
you worry about
girl.
it.
Okay, girl. Good. Yeah, it's funny. I was done with work a little bit early today because I had a client have to reschedule last minute. So then I was like, oh, I got extra time. So then I was like, well, let me catch up on e-readings because I had to get those rolled out. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna have an extra time. I'm gonna have extra time to go for my walk. Let me go for my walk again. And which I tried to do this yesterday on Instagram, and I was like, it's late to the live.
Uh,
So then I got here on time, and then I was having a conversation, and that slowed me down. And then I was like, okay. And so by the time I got actually sat my butt down and like got in front of the camera, the computer, it was like, okay, it's like time, and we still have to set up our shit. So that took a while. So, but hey,
yeah,
at least we understand the process, right? We know what it's going to be like.
exactly. Exactly. I like it so far. It seems cool.
Yeah, yeah, I
And I
like it
hope
too. I
that
really do.
because you said like all the recordings are going to be here, so like
hmm
you're not going to have to go back and do extra work, and so it's going to make everything
hmm
more smooth for us overall. So I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Is my video laggy or it's okay, or I'm in sync?
you're in sync, but it's like a little bit like fuzzy. But I didn't want to tell you because I knew you was going to be like,
Well, yours
bitch.
is well, no. You know why? Why yours is a little fuzzy too, but that's just because it's recording at the same time and it's actually
Yeah.
sending out like the one that's going out is a high. It's a good like quality, but it's not going to be as good quality as the way it's recording it.
Okay.
So as long as so we'll figure it out once we're done with this, and I look at the video and I'll be like, oh my god, this shit was a mess. Or we ain't doing this again. So we will figure it out. But I wanted to use the microphones because I usually have my lapel, but I missed my microphone. And the last couple of times I tried to use it on our podcast, on the episodes that we worked on, it didn't record properly or it was too low. And I was like, oh man, I was like, something happened and maybe my microphone doesn't work anymore. But the reason why is because on one side of my computer on my Mac, the USB I was connecting it on one side when originally I was having the other side. So on the other side is where the better quality sound and the
Mm.
better volume is coming through. So I was like, oh my god, that's the difference. So I had to rearrange my whole desk. I was like, yesterday I was under my desk running wires through all this shit, and I was trying to get it all sorted out because I don't want to have to look at a mess. I want it to look like it's a nice,
Yeah.
like organized space, but it's also like, oh, I'm gonna be on my podcast and then pull out the wire and I plug it in instead of like doing all this extra shit every single
Hmm.
time we're trying to set up for the episode.
Hmm. I know.
Mm-mm.
You're such a queen over there.
Oh my gosh, such a queen. So what are we going to talk about? Because I mean, we have so many different things we could talk about. And everybody, if you want to be on here, if you want to get on and like kiki with us and have a little chat for fun, I'm not doing readings, y'all. So if you're trying to like watch me because I'm going to be doing readings, like I'm really not here for that on the podcast. I'm just trying to have a conversation about stuff. But if you want to get in on the conversation with me and Michelle, you can just follow the link that's included in the chat box or in the window that we send out, and feel free to like go ahead and click it, and it's going to ask you to, what's your question? Like, what the hell do you want to ask me? Or what do you want to talk to us about? And then we will see it on our end, and then we'll bring you on.
Right. Yeah. You guys are more than welcome to do that. So, yes. Okay. So let's talk about RBG.
Yeah. Yes. Gosh. just hearing her name just like breaks my heart. Like yesterday, Ed and I were just like sick to our stomach. And he told me when I was switching over from the first live where I was just getting off of done doing readings and we were about to do the study group for, And he told me like right in the middle, I'm like, yes. And he's like, and I was like, fuck. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Like every time she would be hospitalized, people would be like, please keep her protected.
Hang in there.
Yeah. I mean, it is like scary to think of who they're going to put in there in her place. Like those people make the laws for our life, you know? Like,
yeah.
Ugh. I don't know.
If shit falls, like, for example, when you think of the election, like the reason why we have rights as gay people is because of the Supreme Court. The reason why, you know, the civil rights movement happened and black folks got rights, rights, was because of the civil court. I mean, the Supreme Court. So all that matters because, you know, laws can be created, legislature, all that other stuff. And, you know, that can be between Senate and president, etc. But when stuff's getting fought out and stuff's getting worked out, it usually falls in the place of the Supreme Court. They're the ones that made the decision that he wasn't going to be impeached. They're the ones that are going to probably call the election if it gets drawn out past the first day, which most likely will happen because I'm pretty sure he's going to contest the election just because all the mail-in ballots are not going to be counted on the first day unless they're early, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then I think I saw something that said like Trump had appointed like 200 judges and like some other number, but like all of them were like white males. So if that's who's going to be making all the rules,
right?
Like the majority of them don't give a damn about our issues.
Right.
It's overwhelming. I mean, I wonder, maybe you could channel her.
No, I wouldn't dare. You know what? Like people have done, because people have asked me about that with Selena. They're like, have you know what? Why don't you channel Selena? I was like, I wouldn't dare. I was like, I have connected with her in spirit form, but it was kind of an accident. It wasn't something I was trying to do. It was an accident. And I'll go into another story because I want to do a whole Selena episode. But suffice it to say, I don't feel like respectful to try to channel someone who was such an icon, who was such an amazing and incredible person that has completely like kind of shaped things in our world. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, and I would feel so disrespectful without the permission of the family, because I feel like in that, like I should at least have one family member present that's giving me the okay to be able to do that, because I wouldn't want someone to try to invoke the spirit of my dead sister or my dead mother or whatever without me even knowing anything about it, and they just took it upon themselves, you know?
Yeah. I think that's like a really common thing among like YouTube psychics. You'll always see them like whenever George Floyd was murdered. I saw so many people saying,
"Oh my God,
channeled George Floyd." I was like, please stop.
Yeah, it is so disrespectful. It makes me sick to see that. Like, and there already have been like 2 psychics that tried to channel like Selena, and one wrote a book and like was talking all this crap about the family. I was like, oh my God, like seeing what went on, like you have no shame, girl. Like you have no shame, you know? And it's not only that, but like if you're going to read and someone famous is going to come through, like if you're going to plug it, you should have the permission of the family. Like I don't feel right doing that, you know? And so I've seen people do the same thing with Sylvia Brown, and her son was like, you know, doing a video telling people like, shameful for you. Like I talked to my mother, and my mother told me that there would be a ton of psychics who claim to have spoken to me or who have talked to me or who have channeled me. And the ones that are claiming that, like, it's not true and it's not correct, you know? And so I agree with that, because that's disrespectful. And, you know, you don't do that unless you have somebody's permission. So that's bullshit. That's just them trying to use someone famous to like make themselves better or make themselves like pop out. Right.
Yeah, they're trying to get clicks and views by just using their name. And I'm like, that is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
especially people who I'm like, this man got murdered tragically and the whole entire world was shaking from it. And
Mm-hmm.
here you are
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube talking about some George said, girl, stop.
Mm-hmm. It's shameful. Shamefulness. That's what it is. And
Mhm.
just like last night on my, and people must have thought I lost my mind last night on my Instagram, because this fool, this halfwit, a few days, it was last week, I was outside with Ed and we were watching the sky at night, and
Mhm.
we saw this bright object in the sky. Now, the first thing we don't jump to conclusions anymore because there's so many things we see in the sky here that it's kind of hard to keep up with. And so automatically we have like two apps, and one of the apps shows us where the planets are so we can use it to figure out what the hell we're looking at, if it's a,
Yeah.
and the second one helps us to identify like satellites and things in orbit that basically going to look unnatural because they're flying by. And
Yeah.
so I saw a light coming by, and I was like, what is that? What is that? You know, and it's going in a straight line. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be something in orbit, because if it were like quote unquote a UFO or alien craft, it'd be zigzagging all over the damn place.
Mhm.
So I was like, I think that's the ISS. I think that's the International Space Station. And Ed was like, maybe. He's like, let me look. And so then he pulled it out. And he's funny because he was making a joke. He's like, what is her name? Jodie Foster. Hillary Swank. He's like, Hillary Swank is up there because we've been watching that Hillary Swank Away on Netflix. It's really good. It's really
What's it
good.
called?
Um, Away. It's like
Okay.
they're like headed to Mars, or they're the first crew to Mars, and she's the first captain, female captain of on the trip to Mars to make the trip.
Mm.
So it's pretty good. But he was like, Hillary Swank's up there. So he checked with the app, and sure enough, it was the ISS. So cool. And I just recorded it with my like phone, and then I posted it on Instagram. And this halfwit, this idiot, he's like, fake, and I was like, what the fuck is what's the point of that? Like, why? What? If I were saying this were a UFO, okay, maybe I could accept that that's a response that I'm probably going to get from some people. But this is the fucking International Space Station. This is
Right.
I get billed for it every year when I pay my taxes. So it's a real machine that's up in the air. It's a scientific vessel, and there's an app that's showing you exactly where it is in the sky. Everybody can see it. It ain't something I made up with my own
Right.
with my cell phone. And it
Right.
pissed me off. And I was like, who, like, what the hell? And I thought maybe this guy's joking, right? And I was like, maybe he's joking, or maybe he's just trying to like mess with me, or maybe he's like, knowing that that may be a joke, or I mean, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll see. So I responded back, and I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's the ISS. Everybody here can see it. We see it a few times a year.
Mhm.
That looks like and so he never responded. I was like, okay, I guess he wasn't joking. And I had been meaning to block his ass because I was like, oh, you're one
Yeah.
of these fools, conspiracy theorists, buy it. Like, no, I don't. I'm not dealing with you. And so I was meaning to like delete him or block him, and then because I'm not having that bullshit on my page,
Yeah.
and it's like my page, and it's like whatever. I can do whatever I want and say whatever I want, and if you don't like it, you can then walk your ass on out of my house because you
Exactly.
know I don't have enough space on my mat for dirty ass muddy feet. So, and so then Ed was telling me last night, he's like, and I posted, what was it? I posted the RBG picture,
Yeah.
just honoring her and just saying, and so then one of my followers, she was on there, and and like, she had commented just throwing up like prayer hands. And then he chimed in, he was like, ha 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 ha, liberals. And I
Oh,
was
I
like,
saw
okay,
it.
first of all, oh yes. I was like, no, and like, I grew up in a respectful household where, like, okay, if someone passes away, you show
Mhm.
respect and dignity, no matter whether you care for the person or not. It's a very sensitive time for people. You need to be respectful of their like grief and whatever. So,
Mhm.
she just died. You already got dumbass Mitch over there saying, we're not honoring her death wish. Like, you could have waited the day after her death. You didn't have to do it like 2 or 3 hours after her passing. So I was like, so that was unacceptable. So
Mhm.
because she said her dying wish was that they don't bring in a new Supreme Court justice until there's a new president in office, or until after the election.
Yeah.
And so he said, no, we're not going to honor that. We'll have somebody running and in the chair before election day. That's what he said.
And somebody
So
stupid who don't have nothing
yeah,
good to say.
yeah, and it's like 6 weeks. Like, we have 6 weeks until the election. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay. So that pissed me off, but I was like, okay. So then he had posted that. So he had, haha. So he was disrespectful. He was like, this woman just died. She has honored our, and not only that, his picture, he only shows legs. He doesn't even show his face. He don't even want to show his face, right? So I'm like, okay. So first of all, you're a coward because you don't even show your face, you know? So what the hell is that about? If you're going to say something, own up to it because
Right.
that's who you are and that's what you represent. Don't hide behind, you know, the screen and the typewriter.
Mm.
Number two, that's disrespectful after someone just passed. Like, you know, old boy Trump's brother just passed away not that long ago. I didn't remember seeing a crap load of, you know, saying, you know, oh ha 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 to you or stupid conservative. Like I didn't see that kind of level of disrespect around that. I'm like, because it's ethics, right? It's just like ethics and morality. So there was that, and then it's just that just irritated me, just the lack of disrespect. And then you're going after
Yeah.
my fans, and then you're using my platform, my page, to make your own stupid posts and to make a point. No, you're done, and I'm shut. So I went off on him, and I like cussed up a storm, and I said, you know,
Oh,
motherfucker, bring your ass over to me, to my page. Bring yourself to my face and call me a liberal, so I will show you how much of a liberal I can be, you know. And that was it. And so, but I put it out and I made it public. And I know, like, one of my friends last night was giving me slack about it because he was like, you know, all this vitriol and all this anger and rage over just liberals, the word liberals. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I wasn't seeing the words, I was reading the energy, and I don't like this
yeah.
fool, and I don't like the energy. And you call me fake on my page, and you're following me. Like, how you gonna be on my page following me and then call me fake? I don't think so. If you can't trust my integrity, get the hell off my page. You know, you don't need to be part of my life and my movement here. So, and then, so I was like, no. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not about to sit by and continue to accept, continue to put up with this kind of bullshit from people.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. These are bullies. These are people where they think they can get away with it. So they do it because they get away with it. And, but these are the same fools. Not all of them. There's a large percentage though. You call them out or you come up to them and you put them in their place and you come after them. They stop. They will not mess with you after that, because at that point they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, like, I didn't think you were going to be like that. And I'm like, okay. So, and that's what you need to do. You need to call them out on their bullshit, and you're still going to get a percentage of those fools who still are brazen and they want to go out and cause all kind of ruckus and shoot people up who are protesting. But a majority of these cowards and these fools who think that, you know, their opinion is fact and that the way they see the world and how they choose to view this world, with the amount of hatred and you know, disrespect and just not even acknowledging the humanity in folks who are of color or who are of a sexuality type. No, I'm not putting up with it, and I'm not even going to make it acceptable for them to express opinion. I'm going to make it uncomfortable, and I'm going to get in your face, and I'm going to make it very difficult for you to feel like you can do this and get away with it. So I don't think so. And so that's what that's about. And so it's a point, you know, it's a point.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong. See, that's what I have a problem with, because I feel like when you say I'm spiritual or I do this or I love the Lord, I've got I am God and all of that jazz, you're not allowed to go gray. No.
Right.
No. Because let's be real. If we want to get biblical, God will abolish a whole entire city and whole entire everybody because you didn't do the right thing. So what makes us any different? If you're not being righteous, if you're not going to use love in your life, maybe it's my job here right now to let you know that you're not right. You know, like sometimes you have to use a sword and a shield. You can't always be like, well, I understand, you're human. No, fuck that. Sometimes you're going to get checked. Like, operate correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. And people want to act why people are angry and they're starting to, you know, riot and burn shit down and stuff like that, because people are mad. People are pissed. And I have only gotten angry and like, because, like, you know, I told my friend last night, I was like, look, I grew up in an abusive household. I know what beat down feels like. I also learned how to beat someone down in the process of being beat down. And so because of that, I have anger issues, and I have a lot of anger built up, and like there's a lot of that there that comes along with being beat down. It's a part of the learning curve, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've done well enough to keep my anger and to keep my rage and to keep my level of under control. And I've worked years to do that. And so I have only been violent twice in my lifetime, 2 times, only twice in my lifetime. Once when I was a teenager and I was nieces, and she was just being a bitch and a pain in the ass about all these things and being smart ass. And I was pissed off. And I was like, you need to stop. You need to be respectful. Sit your ass down. And she didn't want to. And she didn't want to listen. And I was like, and I grabbed her and I spanked her ass. And that was then. Now, I actually felt horrible about that years after, because I was like, when I did that, I was like, I'm a horrible person. Like, I'm an evil person. And I'm my stepfather. I'm an abusive person, you know? And I apologized for years later, and she was like, "Oh, it's all right. It's okay. You're fine." You know, I knew I was a brat, so I probably needed it. Like, it was like she was okay with it. I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be that person. And then, like 6 years ago, when I was at Starbucks, and I was working at Starbucks, and I was outside in the morning putting out the patio furniture and hanging out, and I'd seen them before times. And you know, with the homeless population, homeless people, there's a lot of them who do suffer from mental illnesses, and they're just there because they don't know how to function in the real world. But there's also a few who they are just alcoholics, or they just want to drink and they don't want to be in their house. And there are some of them who they just like, they don't want to live in society. They don't want to have but they know what they're doing. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing in the ways that they behave sometimes. He knew what he was doing sitting there, because he was going to start asking these, you know, people coming in for money. So I went out and I was like, hey, you sorry, man, like you can't, you know, this is private property. You can't be here. And he was like, you know, why you talk like a faggot? And like immediately went there. And I was like, excuse me? And then he was like, you heard me. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. And then I was like, oh no. I was like, I put up with this throughout elementary school, middle school, summer high school. I ain't putting up with this shit no more in my life. Unacceptable. I'm not about to be taking this. And so I could have just left it alone and walked away. But I was like, no, I don't think so. This is unacceptable. And I will not be the victim anymore. So I went up and I said, I'm sorry. Could you say that to my face so that I could hear you very clearly? And so he got up, he stood up, he got in my face, and he said, faggot. And then he spit in my face.
See, that is for fighting.
At that point, I didn't even think. I just immediately reacted. The moment the spit hit my face, I reacted and I went, whoo, and I like punched him across the face. Like, I mean, I think this was the hardest punch I've ever punched anything in my life, you know, but I like punched him across the face. And as I punched him across the face, like he went back and he looked at me like in complete shock, like he could not believe I punched him and hit him in the face. And not only that, but I think I broke his nose because he was all bleeding in his face and I mean, it was bad. And I was like, And I said, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, I will not put up with this bullshit. Not on this place. Not on this, you know, get the fuck out of here. And so he started walking off, and I made the mistake of turning my back and walking towards the front door. And the minute I turned my back and walked to the front door, he jumped me and he beat the hell out of me, punched me. I got the video. It's on video. I got the video.
How you got into a fight with the homeless man?
Yeah. That's how I got into that fight. Yeah. So that's when I ass beat down. And I got it on video, you know? And so after that, I had PTSD with, you know, homeless folks, because every time a homeless person would come in, I would start immediately going back into that. Now, granted, I took the first swing, but I feel like he took this first swing energetically when he said that to me and spit in my face. When you spit in my face, oh, you lost me. That was it. That was the end of it, you know? So after that, to help me get past the trauma, two things, because he had the audacity of coming back into the store after that, like days later, acting like nothing had happened. And so I started volunteering at a church feeding the homeless, and that helped me to work past the PTSD, because I didn't want to have this sense of like these people are evil or they're bad or whatever. I didn't want to have that crap. I wasn't going to be like, all black people are this way or all homeless people I didn't want to have that bullshit. So I was like, no, I'm going to work through this. So I fed homeless people. I sat down. I had conversations with folks. Most of the people coming were black, by the way, of the homeless folks. And so I was sitting down having these conversations, getting to know people, and just remembering that I'm dealing with human beings, and these are people who are just in really bad situations in their lives, and that's it. And that was the unique experience unto itself. It wasn't something I need to apply this blanket statement over. So then that was it. And I did that for a few months, and then we had a homeless guy who around at the store who was really cool. We had a great relationship. I would say, hey, would you mind hanging out at the front? don't ask any customers about any money or change. Just hang out, have conversations if you want, and I will give you breakfast every morning. I will give you a cup of coffee. You do good, whatever, a cup of milk, orange juice. I'll give you your sandwich, etc. Just hang out and keep these other people away because they know you, they respect you, and they won't come up. He's like, oh yeah, I love that, and we became friends. And every morning he'd come in and we'd chit chat and whatever. So he was really cool. But that's how I worked out my issue because I tried reaching out to Starbucks and they didn't want to pay for a police officer to hang out in the front or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember my nephew that we talked about when we first started the show? So he's decided to live outside. I don't know if he's just decided, but he just can't, like, he's not going to take medication and do counseling because that's what he has to do to be at home. Because he told my sister the other day, he was like, okay, well, can you come get me? And she was going to go. And then she was like, you know what, Michelle, I sat and thought about it. And I was like, I have to set the boundary with him.
Yeah.
And just, you know, if he's not going to do what he's supposed to do, then he's going to stay out there. But honestly, I think that is his experience right now. Like, either you choose to do right or you now live outside. And of course, they're bullying him and beating him up because he has a cell phone and tennis shoes, you know, all of these things that they don't have.
He's under the impression that this is going to work. Yeah, like this is the best thing for me. This is going to work. Yeah. And this is because this is the nephew that's schizophrenic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's hard. We have to, in my old house in Houston, we used to have this guy who would hang out at the front right across the street. It was this white guy, a little old man, and he just would be drunk all day long. And he would always stay out there, just like passed out, like in the front. And like, I think we became a little friendly, but he was always there and he was always asking people for money and alcohol. And so then one day, Ed and I would always wonder about him. And one day, this lady walked by and apparently they knew each other. And he was like, hey, when are you going to let me back in the house? Or when are you going to let me come home? And she's like, when you straighten up and clean up, we're not dealing with that shit at home. And she's like, if you want to drink, you sit your ass here and you keep drinking until you kill yourself. You're not coming back into our home until you learn how to act right. And so that was it. I was like, oh, but I got it. I was like, oh, okay. Now I understand why, he's out there. And so, and this is the thing. And this is the spirituality thing. Like, and that's what we were talking about. Like, people expect people who are spiritual, who come from a spiritual mindset, to be these perfect idealized versions of humans, right? Like, you're not going to sin. You're not going to be aggressive, or going to have a human reaction to situations, or you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that, right? So it's one of those things where, think of Jesus, he got frustrated with them people in front of the temple selling their crap to people who were just coming to worship, turning it into a business. And then the church was collecting on that as well with them taxes. And he was like, I'm done with this shit. And he walked up in that, and he started throwing tables over and beating the hell out of people because he's like, absolutely not. This is a place of worship. This is not the place to be selling your crap to these people who are seeking salvation or seeking to connect with God. And the same thing with Buddha. He scolded those monks when they left that guy outside because he was sick and he couldn't contribute to the activities that they had every day. And so Buddha walked up and said, what the hell are y'all, why'd they kick you out? And he said, because I can't contribute. I can't do anything. And he says, that's unacceptable. And to the monks and said, what the hell are y'all doing? He can't contribute. He's not a contributing member of our team. Then we kicked him out. We put him out. And he's like, he's not in a position to contribute. He is in a position where he requires compassion and love. And you didn't give him that. So y'all need to get your asses out here, bring him in here and fix this shit right now. Yeah. That's pretty much what he did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just think at this point, I get a really frustrated and I got upset yesterday because I posted a picture and I had my hand like on my stomach right here.
Yeah.
And all these people were like, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant. Because what I said was like, I feel so full and I am renewing relationships and all these different things about just, universal love and feeling good. And I'm like, so you guys are fucking basic. So nobody can be happy and feel good and whole by themselves. I have to be giving new life, or I have to have a man or whatever. I'm like, kill the material and flesh focus. Like, what else is there? Like, I can feel good because I'm connected and I am living a different lifestyle and I'm, loving people and trying to do right or whatever. Like, everything is so basic here. And it's frustrating because it's like looking at the rest of 2020, it's about to get real choppy. So,
yeah, and which y'all got another hurricane. I know we just done talk about a hurricane 2 or 3 episodes ago, right? So there's another hurricane up in the. Yeah, I think that if we just embrace the fact that we're all human, that we are all here in physical form for a reason. If we were better than physical form, we wouldn't be in physical form. And
Mhm.
so that means we have the fullest experience of human. Yeah, some people are going to be completely cut off. They're going to cut themselves off and they're going to go into that magic bubble in their head and live
Mhm.
this like uniquely perfect, peaceful life. But they're not living in the real world either. It's
Right.
really hard to have that level of peace all the time when you're living amongst everybody else. And I think that's the point is we need to raise ourselves up and raise everyone with us in the process. It's not just about just ourselves and like
Right.
disconnecting from society because it's too hard because that's not going to help anybody.
Right. And it is hard. And like I
Yeah.
think it's like, we make this content or, like you do readings every week several times and
Mm-hmm.
share a lot of information about how to, come into awareness and how to shift and how to rise and how to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And they looking at what the fuck my hair looks like.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
could you just a little bit, like shift a little bit so that you can hear the message because you're going to miss it. And that's fine. But in a minute, you're going to be going, oh, I don't know what to do. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
so out of sorts here. And here we are screaming about it, telling you. And you're like, Michelle, how did you lose so much weight? Bitch,
Mm-hmm.
because I let that bullshit go. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can too. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Mm-mm. No, and speaking of, you should have told me I had like some white something in my hair. I was like, I didn't even realize I had something in my hair. So I was like,
I can't see it because I told you it was kind of fuzzy. So,
oh my God. And so who's out there? Who's listening to the all? Because I ain't seen any guest requests yet. And I'm wondering if it's even up properly or not. So we need to find out what is anybody watching? Who's watching? Who's listening? Who's in tune? See,
I
you're
only
on Facebook,
see
right? Or are you on YouTube?
I see people on YouTube. I see Marie. She said she was the one who told or who was trying to pray on the RBG post. And
Yes.
she,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-mm. So let me see. And y'all, if y'all want to be a guest on, want to pop on here, talk with us, or have a chat with us, just for the hell of it, or bring up, we can talk about anything. Like this is really not a scripted. I was going to do predictions. If y'all want to get on, ask me about specific things that are going to be happening, or if y'all want to ask, let us know because I have no problem tuning in, tapping in, turning on, getting here. Let me see.
Okay.
Go to face.
I see Jennifer Schaefer. Jennifer, do you want to click this link? I'm about to drop it right behind you so you can call in. Oh, Marie says it's not working right. She must have tried it.
Huh? It's not
Oh,
working right. Uh-oh.
what's
Let's
going
see.
on with it?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe I put it in the wrong way. So let me see. Live call link. Okay. So then here, I'm gonna put this over here. Tell me, I'm about to let's see. Tell me questions from your listener. So send pops up.
I see it.
You see it? Okay. So
Hmm.
it doesn't, huh? Oh, you know what? It's because they have to open it from Chrome.
Oh,
That's it. You have to y'all have to open it from Chrome or from like it can be any web. What is it? A web browser, as long as it's not Safari. For some reason, Safari doesn't. I'm just not. I don't know if Safari doesn't work with it well. Y'all may need to open it up from Chrome or like some alternative. Browser. So let me see.
hmm.
Let me see if it shows up on my end. See, I just went to Facebook and I don't see a live feed. What's that all about?
Oh Lord.
Is it
You know
even?
the
Is it
spirit of
even?
technology.
Oh, girl, is it? Let me see. It might show up here. Let's see. Sometimes, because. Oh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Come on. Yeah. Let's talk about this hurricane.
Okay. So let me see. First of all, because I don't watch the news. I don't ever know. Okay, what's it
Mm-hmm.
called?
Beta.
Oh,
They ran out
beta.
of beta. So here's how it works, right? Yeah, beta. So here's how it works. So oh no, look, it works. It works through this other thing here. So it's on this thing here. I don't know what's I don't know what's the I'm seeing myself. I'm looking at myself. So and it says call in live. There's a button right there for the link. So if y'all click the link, it opens it up in a web browser and then y'all can see from of the thing. So okay.
All I have to say
Beta.
is I'm not doing school next week. I'm not doing school. I called in sick to school on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Because my car was acting up, so I was like, I gotta take care of my car, man. I don't have time for this. It says tracking beta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Well,
no.
they ran out of names in the alphabet, so they ran out of names in the alphabet, go up to W. After W, they start the Greek alphabet. They start the
Oh,
Greek
okay.
alphabet, which is alpha, beta, delta, gamma, all these other
Mhm.
crap. So, and the only time that's ever happened where they had to go into, that Greek alphabet was in 2006.
This is such a funny year. Like, how can people not be like, man, this is really crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never gonna be normal again, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Hurricane Beta, it says 5-day projected path. I see it definitely. They got all these lines and stuff on here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Mm-mm.
going to Corpus Christi or is it going to Houston or is it going to land on top of Galveston? What is really going on?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay. So let me see. I'm testing this out. I'm checking this real quick because it says,
okay.
"Oh, okay, cool." So, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it works. It works. It's working on here. So if you go to the link that I posted, if you go to the link and type in "call in live," it automatically will open up a box. You put in your question and your name, and then it's going to let us know you're in the queue to be a caller. And then all we have to do is just select you as a caller in, and then we can get you on here. Speaking of the, I realize what you're talking about with my picture being fuzzy because your picture looks much better than mine online.
On
What
the
the hell is that
yeah.
all about? Yeah. What's
I
that?
don't
What's that?
know. I don't
Huh.
know. You got that technology spirit over there bothering you. I'm sending you
Girl.
love.
Mm-mm. It's a mess. It's a hot mess. Girl. You're on Wi-Fi though, right? You're connected to
Yeah, I'm using
Wi-Fi.
that new booster.
Okay, you're using the booster. You're using your phone as the camera, right?
No, I'm using my webcam
Computer.
because I
Oh,
could
you're using your what?
never get the other thing. It wouldn't see my camera. So I was like, let me try
Mm.
this. And it was clear and you didn't complain about it. So I was like, okay, bitch.
Mm. I was like, okay. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It don't look bad at all. But what the hell is that all about? Because I was like, I'm
I
like
don't
trying to figure
know.
that out. Huh? That's weird. Oh, let me see. Let me see.
I don't
Uh,
know.
Let me see. I'm gonna switch camera.
I'll, I'll wait. Can y'all still hear me? I think I'm by myself for a minute. Are y'all? So y'all should definitely try to call in link. Oh, wait, here he comes. Wait, now
So,
he's here. Oh, now I'm on the other side. Okay.
oh, let's see. Okay,
But
how
it's
does
more
this
clear.
look? Is it better? Okay.
Yeah, it's more clear.
So, okay. So then I guess I'll use my laptop one because I was trying to use my phone one and let me see, get some light up in here. Get some light.
Yeah, that's a lot more clear.
Okay. So then let me that crap right there. Okay. And then that's weird. How it okay.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Marie
So I
says
mean it looks
that you were fuzzy and beautiful.
okay, well so I'm still seeing myself fuzzy on here on the web thing. Am I still fuzzy to you?
It's clearer than the other one. It's not super fuzzy. I'll say that. I don't
Hmm.
know what's going on with your shit today. Because usually you don't have this problem at all.
Yeah, that is weird. Oh, look, it's getting cleared up again. So, hmm. Okay. I mean, it's better than before, but whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I guess we found our first series of problems with this technology.
Yeah. All good.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not even gonna fight it. I'm not even gonna fight it because it's one of those things where, like, the hardest you push for something, and you keep feeling like you get these blocks stacking up, and you such and such, but it ain't working your favor. At some point, you just have to like screw it. I'm just gonna do it. If it's not perfect, if it don't come out right, if it ain't the way it needs to look, to hell with it. I'm still doing it. And if I'm walking barefoot or I'm walking crooked legged, so be it. I'm walking crooked legged, but I'm still making the trip. And that's what this is. So it's
Yeah.
almost like that's what you have to do.
Yes. I definitely
Mm-hmm.
agree. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how I start everything. I'm like, well, shit. Let me just fucking do it. Because I will teeter totter and then be like, no, I'm not confident. No, it's not perfect. And then
Mm-hmm.
it never comes
Mm-hmm.
out, like somebody
Mm-hmm.
needs to hear it. So,
Yeah.
I will say though about Hurricane Beta, is it a hurricane or a tropical storm? This says her.
She's a
Well,
tropical storm.
okay. So the city of Galveston and Galveston County issued voluntary evacuation orders ahead of the storm. Now,
Mm.
I will say this about Galveston. They need to take that statue down in front of the courthouse. So if they
Oh,
get a storm
girl.
right now,
Mm-hmm. They do.
maybe it'll take it
Mm-hmm.
down. Maybe it will take it down. If it does, then that would be all divine.
Mm-mm. You know what I've been seeing, because we're going to be dealing with a lot more like of these situations where
Mhm.
um, shit's just going to be going wrong. I mean, we're
Mhm.
dealing with a climate crisis at this point. We got all these hurricanes, we got all these fires, we have, you know, everything just kind of really going to hell in a handbasket really fast. And I've been seeing what I think of. I've been seeing these things. I want to call them pop-up cities, where I kept
Mm.
seeing these migrations of people leaving their areas either because it was just not going to be habitable places, like
Mhm.
Florida, parts of Texas, and there were people flooding, all this stuff. So we're going to be leaving. It ain't going to be. It to me, it didn't look like a scene I'm waiting, but it did see people leaving nonetheless
Mhm.
and getting on the road or trying to. You know what? I'm just going to buy an RV and just like move around, drive around, whatever, because we don't know where we need to be, what we need to be doing. And now that we can be mobile, and thanks to COVID, thanks to our good friend COVID, now we all are all on Zoom or all online somehow. So thanks to
Mhm.
that, you know.
Right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what I'm saying. There's been some blessings in it. Like it has been really traumatic, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people have lost their lives, which is tragic.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been some blessings in it. Like now I get to see how the school is running because I'm like, oh, this what y'all do? This is what
Mm-hmm.
y'all do? Like this is why she can't read? Like I know I need to do my part too. But like as the commuting single mom, like I just was like out of bandwidth. But I'm like
Mm-hmm.
at school, y'all are also not working. So she's not
Mm-hmm.
working at all. And then the instruction is, okay, let's talk about citizenship. I'm like, see, this is not this is not
Mm-hmm.
it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's been some blessings in it because I think we needed to be able to spend more time with our families like we are now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that, this has helped us to kind of reassess who we are as people and who we are as individuals. And for me, my coping mechanisms have definitely been used a lot more, lately, especially this year. I've literally used every single coping mechanism I know. I mean, heck,
Mhm.
started meditating again. Just because I was like, oh, I think I was like, this is a year where like I don't normally need to meditate, but this is a year I gotta meditate because it ain't gonna be something I thousand meditation. So I've been, looking towards spiritual texts. That's what we do with the study group, reading, learning all about it. I've been meditating. I've been trying to watch a lot more inspirational stuff. I've been definitely using my old traditions of like making my big breakfast on Sunday, watching
Mhm.
Star Trek. Like last night after RBG, I was like done. I was like, I didn't even pick up my phone for like 2 hours straight because I was done. I was like, I cannot even go online right now because I'm so upset and pissed off and just in my brain. So I need to get back to myself for a second
Yeah.
and ground myself. And so for me, I started watching an episode of Star Trek Voyager. And interestingly enough, the episode was about a character who there was an accident, and he was this person who was always a very logical. Oh my God, I just totally put those pieces together. I didn't realize that's the episode I was watching. I just literally pushed play, and then this was the episode, not realizing it was the parallel there. It's this Vulcan. It's a guy. And he is always logical, always taking the right steps, always doing
Mhm.
things by dictated by logic. And there was an accident, not an accident, but there was an incident. He lost his capacity to be that part of himself because his brain was damaged. So he became this more basic, baser version of himself. And he was, Vulcans are very like logical. They're very controlled. They're
Mhm.
not violent. And so he became this very emotionally expressive person. He
Yeah.
started to become, and they can be by nature very violent. That's why they are very much logic based, because they used to be a race of who were very warlike and very violent. And
Yeah.
so they found found peace in the logic. So he went back to this baser instinct, being very aggressive, very, very. At the same time, he was also much more beautiful. He was laughing. Vulcans didn't usually laugh. He was
Mhm.
laughing. He was creating art, and so the
Yeah.
guy, the character in the show, who's his friend, who's helping him through it, under normal circumstances, he doesn't really Tuvok, the Vulcan, he doesn't really care for that guy because by nature he's annoying or he gets on his nerves because he's very chipper and he's always like, yeah, and he's almost like you're like a distraction to my logic,
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't like him. But because he's lost his logic, he can enjoy and appreciate him as he really is. And he's like, I don't want to go back to the way that I was. I don't want to go back to the way that I was. And the problem that they found a way to cure him or to fix him or to help him with his brain to get his brain back. And his friend, the guy, Felix, he's like, I understand, but you have to go back to the way you were because this whole crew, all the people on this ship are on you because they need you so we can get home.
Yeah.
And so without you, we have less of a chance to be able to get where we need to get to. They need you and your expertise in this of high awareness. Yeah, I may lose you and I miss you, but you're always going to be my friend, whether you accept it or whether you know it in your newest form or in your old form or not. And so he said,
Mhm.
okay. So he went back to the way he was and he forgot who he was and he forgot that connection that they shared in his lower vibrational level.
Yeah.
It totally just, I totally got my clarity there. I didn't even realize that, which is funny because that happens sometimes where I'm going through something. I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I cope with this? And then I'll go and just put something on and it's directly relating to what I just
Yeah.
experienced. It's synchronous and it's a miracle that what we
Mhm.
talk about in our many lives, our of course miracles stuff.
Right. I love
Mm-mm.
that though. Like that's I think been the best thing for me since becoming aware is just being able to grab that stuff and really
Mm-mm.
like it makes me smile and I'll be like that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise I wouldn't notice. I would just be sitting there watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I feel like it's really meaningful in that way because I'm like I totally needed that. Like even Michaela's little shows. There's a little show that she watches called Elena of Avalor on Disney, and the girl is a queen. And in order for her to become the queen, she had to go through all of this, many different levels of raising her vibration so that she could get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, Michaela was having a fit, and the girl said, I guess I need to work on controlling my emotions a little bit better. And I said, that's for you. And she was like, and she just looked at me, but she be knowing. But she doesn't pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to it because she's not on that level. But I hear everything. So I'm like, that's really cool. I really appreciate that because I mean, that's a show that she can watch. And if she can look up to that girl, maybe she can, you know, kind of find her center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
No, I'm gonna test this out because I want this is even gonna do what it says it's gonna. So I want to test
okay.
this other thing out because I want to check this out. So I'm gonna put Fernie iPad. Mm-hmm. And then your question. I got questions, bitch. Mm-hmm. Bitch. Let's see if it shows up. Okay, front facing camera, no devices. Here, I'm gonna put this right here so I can see myself. Okay. Ugh. All right, get it together. Get it together. Okay, so iPad microphone, speakers, no devices. Um, it should be the iPad. Okay, same question. There it is. Look at that. You see it?
I
So
don't.
it's on the side. Okay, it's okay. It showed up there. For any iPad, I got questions, bitch. So it's
Okay.
okay. So let me accept that, and let me see if it brings the other me on.
Uh huh. The other you is on here. Hey, what's up,
Er,
three way?
Hey y'all, I'm calling in. I got some questions, bitch. I got questions I want to know.
Okay, so yes, we're all on here. Oh, somebody has a
uh,
question about your mama. How is
okay,
she?
yeah. Go ahead. What's the question?
She just wants to know how is your mom?
My mom is okay. So let me hang up myself. Hold on, hang up myself. Okay, there we go. My mom is okay. So she was tested for COVID. She actually was positive. Um, and she had mild symptoms. So I was really hear that in the beginning when she was telling us about it. So she ended up only getting mild symptoms. She had sore throat. She did have a little bit of like raspy at the beginning. And she said she felt extremely exhausted and tired all the time, where she could barely like do anything. And that lasted for a good week and a half. And then after that, there was no symptoms. But she was like trying to go out and go to her appointments without, and I was like, still supposed to be, because the doctor told me I was at home for 10. And she was like, but I have my appointment. I got to go to my doctor. I'm like, you better not go out. Like, I got on her. I was like, you better not set foot outside while you're supposed to be in quarantine, because you can put other people at risk and you cause someone else to get sick. So you're not going anywhere. You need to call and reschedule your. So she was like, okay. When I get into that place, like he's in charge right now, So yeah, so that's what she did. She went ahead and she just rescheduled her appointment, and that was fine. But her boyfriend didn't get anything, which is great. But I think that she had already gotten it, because apparently she got deathly ill in February, and she didn't, and they thought she was gonna like have to go to the hospital. I didn't find out till days later because nobody told me. And so she was like in bed, and she said she couldn't, right? And I was like, she said she'd never been that sick in her life. And I was like, so I think she probably got it in February, and then she got it again, but she got it because she'd already had it. She probably had a milder version of it. That's what I think.
I think a lot of people were sick in February with it and didn't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, I think I had it because I was like super, super sick in February. I'm like, this foolishness just running rampant, and now we're like all crazy shut down, and not still. I mean, people are still going places. Like in Houston, it's like at the bar, people are like, girl, I'm on my way. Like I was going to go to an event last night, but my car was acting up. So I was like, that ain't nothing but me. Don't supposed to go nowhere.
No, I'm pretty sure, because I haven't really been into a public place since February. So I literally have not gone into any public places until February. I only went to the doctor, and I was the only patient in the damn clinic. That was it. And to the drive at Walmart to get my medicine. That's it. So that's all I've done that has anything to do with people. And I think I'm comfortable with going into a large space with a mask and, like a Perel or whatever I got to take with me. But Ed's not, and I want to wait till he feels okay with it, because he's the one that has severe respiratory stuff, and I'm not at risk. So I'm like, no. And like when I went to the doctor, I self-quarantined in my office for like 15 days, just so that, we were sure that there was not going to be any kind of contamination with him.
Yeah. Oh,
it's hard.
I feel like that would be so hard for me to be like in the house.
No, it was, what? I chose to see it as a vacation because, it's like Ed and I haven't really spent a lot of time apart. We've been pretty much together since the beginning of our relationship. Like we have up until like a year and a half ago. Actually, my trip to Peru was like 6 years into our relationship. I hadn't been apart from him for longer than a few hours in a day. Like that's how together we've always been. So when I went to Peru, I was away from him for like almost 2 weeks, and it was a bit difficult because after day 7 or 8, I was like ready to. I missed him, and I was like, I miss you now. Like I already miss you. Like 4 or 5 days, I'm like, oh, free at that thing. I don't mind. I'm free. Like I was like there, and then once I got to the seventh day, and I was like, I'm kind of missing the laugh and the talks, and so that happened. Yeah. So here, like he would go and water the yard outside every day. The flowers, and I'd open up my window, and he'd be on the other side of the yard, and I'd be like, "Hey, girl, how was your day, girl?" So she's like, "Oh, girl, it's been rough. And then we would like chat, and we would have our conversations. I'm like, "Okay, well, it's been good. I'm gonna go for my walk now. Okay, bye." And then I'd go and leave. So it's like we were neighbors. So that's how it was, and it was like cute because we were texting each other and everything. I think I talked to him more in that 15-day quarantine than I do normally. Because normally I'm so used to talking to people, and when I'm off, like. He's always there, and he's usually the talker anyways, but it was like I was missing him. So
yeah. You better renew your love.
What's to do it?
Okay.
But that's healthy, right? Like having that time apart, I think is really healthy for a couple or for couples. I think it's really good for them because it helps them to appreciate each other. And sometimes we get pissed off with our loved ones, and we want to like get the hell away, or like, oh my god, I should be single or whatever. But when you put it in perspective with the moments when you have together and you're enjoying each other, and Ed and I don't very often. We have our moments, but we don't really fight very often. I mean, I would say that we argue or we have like a disagreement maybe once a month at that, and so that's not too bad. And I think that that's good. Now we get on each other's nerves, and that's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a week, but that's normal for any person, right? So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
nice.
I don't know. I was like thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to share space with a man. I'll be like, don't tell me what to do, first of all. But also, like, I don't know. I've just lived by myself for so long. Like, that's gonna be a huge shift. But like, I think for the right person, I definitely could do it. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think that there's always something that, any relationship, even just like friendships. If you live with friendships, you have roommates, like just having those connections, like sharing that space. You have to learn how, like, you know what? If you ever want to know how strong your love is, build a deck with your partner. Build a deck with your partner, because when Ed and I at the old house, when we were getting ready to sell it and we were like getting these tight last minute things, I mean, I wasn't going to put money into getting a contractor to come over, and he was like, they're not going to do the best job anyways, we're doing it ourselves. Like, oh god, like I gotta work and then I gotta do this, I gotta build a fucking deck, so we bought all the material, and and he's a perfectionist. He's like, that's like like that's a little bit over. No, I don't like the way that looks. No, and so it's like a perfectionist. And oh my god, like I don't know how we made it through building, but at the end of that project, that should have taken less than a day because I was just replacing boards. Instead, it ended up being like a 2-week project, and at the end of it, I was like, I don't even know how we've come through this. I don't really know, but we're still together. And I was like, okay, so.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're gonna like, even with my kids, like, remember I was talking about that crazy day like a couple weeks ago where I was like, oh my god, these relationships, what the hell? Like, I mean, it's like love is not seamless, because we're all different. I think when people have the expectation that like their relationship is going to be without bumps or without hiccups, that's how they find themselves 80 years old, never married, looking out the window, wondering what happened to that girl or that guy that they once should have went with,
Well, I guess we're done with our time. So we tested this. We know what it is. I got to figure out what the upload is with all this. That's just ridiculousness. So anybody want to ask us any questions before we go here? Anybody?
I think and I'll just tell it in the Slack chat, but like maybe we should promote the call-in option.
Yeah.
So people will do that.
Yeah. The thing is, like, look, incoming calls. It's got look, we got an incoming call here. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, it says, hold on. Oh no, that was my call. I was like, got a caller, and then I was like, wait a minute, I was the caller. That's what was going on there. Yeah, no, I think because whenever we change it up on people, like they're not prepared for the change, and I don't even know if it's going out to my Facebook page, which most of the callers would come from anyways, because I don't see anything on Facebook that shows even the feed. So I don't know if I did it right when I put in like the passcode and all that stuff for the shit that we were doing. So I don't even know if that even
for the shit that
we're doing. I don't see it. I wonder if I'm on my Facebook page. Let me see. Go to my YouTube. So you're looking at it from the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I see it on YouTube.
Okay, you're like on just like a web page, right? Let's see. Oh. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's asking me to sign it, girl. Fernando.
Jennifer, you just need to drop that link that I posted in this chat on the YouTube into a web browser. So like it's about 11 comments up now, but let me do it again.
Oh, look, I see it. Jennifer Schaefer. Yeah. Jennifer Schaefer. Yeah. Still fun. It is fun. Yeah. Because it's not like I was doing the call-ins anyways before with the YouTube and stuff, but I want to be able to bring somebody on just to have a conversation. just because it's nice to be able to talk about something else other than tell me what my mama said, tell me what my dad said, tell me what my uncle said. You know, like I'm gonna tell you what he said, but we're gonna do it on the Instagram. I'm gonna need y'all to like ask questions about life or ask about something spiritual, you know, because that's what the intent of the show, the intent of the of this is supposed to be. That it's supposed to be about us. Oh my God, your video looks great. Why is I'm gonna have to figure that out because your video is just wonderful.
I know. I don't know. This has never happened before. So
Yeah, that's weird. It's like when is oh there it is. Look, there it is. So let's see live. Let's see, make sure live. Girl, live.
I don't know.
Oh, girl, this is they trying me today.
They're saying
Oh,
it's not
there it
showing
is.
up in the comments. Oh my goodness. Okay,
No,
well,
what?
well, next time he'll put it in the
Mhm.
notes.
Yeah, because
Well, that's a bummeroo.
but we'll figure it out. We're working on all the kinks because I really do want this to be like a call-in show, and I like the idea that it's almost like a Wendy Williams meets Don Edwards meets The View meets
Yeah.
some else, you know,
Yeah.
meets
Yeah.
like Howard Stern.
Okay.
Yeah, like you know, bring it all in, roll it all in into one, y'all. Roll it all into one. So, all right, y'all. Well, we love you, and y'all are in Houston. Please be careful if it starts to flood. Put your shit high because you know it looks like it's gonna. They were saying 3 to 4 days of rain. A lot of rain. That's a lot of
Oh
rain.
my God.
So, yes.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
I guess I got to go back to the store and get some more water again.
I guess so. I guess so. All right, everybody. We love you. See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.